Alright, we got the Eachine E120S helicopter out today. I don't have a lot of experience with helicopters. I had a cheap Sima one off Amazon a few years back, but that was a lot different than this one. It was dual rotor, no tail rotor, pretty much always just kind of creeped forward a little bit and you could steer it around. This has a lot more control, forward, backward, side to side. You could even do upside down and loops. But I am far away from that. I am still a beginner. I'm still just trying to figure this out and fly it level and straight and controlled. Looks pretty cool. Got at least a carbon fiber-like style tail rotor. It might just be a wrap around plastic, but it still looks real nice. 2S came with a 500 milliamp battery. Has a really nice controller. Lots of functions I'm still trying to learn. Been reading the manual a lot, but I got it pretty well figured out so far. This is actually my second one. I ordered it off Banggood. First one came in damaged, where the back servo mounted snapped off in shipping. I was going back and forth with Banggood trying to get it covered. Spent probably 3 weeks to a month going back and forth, and they offered $10 at one point. I told them that wouldn't even cover the cost for the parts to fix it. They said they would get back to me. Please be patient. After a couple days, they closed the claim and said I did not respond to them. So that was very disappointing. I ended up getting a cheap bind and fly version with one battery because I already had the remote and everything else and extra batteries. So I got this one all paired up to the remote and we'll take it outside, and I haven't flown it outside. We'll see how it does. Alright, let's see how we can do flying. So this was my first flight with the helicopter. I did it inside at my work after hours in the shop. I was struggling to keep control of it there. The controls are very touchy. I found out there's a high and low rate on the controller. Put that in the low rate and it was much easier to fly. That didn't take long. So I did crash it on that first flight. The tail rotor popped off, but there was no other damage, and I was able to pop the tail rotor right back on and continue flying. But with some practice, I started flying a lot better, a lot more controlled. Having the controller in the low rate helped a lot, but I did still have a few hard landings. Alright, time to take it outside and see how it flies. Alright, let's go. It's doing pretty well out here, not a lot of wind. It's supposed to be 5 to 10 mile an hour winds. I've only flown this inside, so I never had too much room. When I'm going a little faster, I could see a little more of the wind affecting it. Still getting used to all the controls. So this can do 3G and do all the stunts and upside down. I'm only running it in 6G. Still got a lot to learn before I'm doing any stunts like that. But for someone with not a lot of experience, it's not too bad. Definitely not an in-your-house type of helicopter. You need kind of a big open area. I flew it in my shop at my work. Don't want to get too close. Those rotors are scary. I'm sure they could do some decent damage if you touch them while it's flying. Hovers pretty good. Getting a little wind affecting it, but not too bad. Gyro's pretty stable on it. Try and get my smooth controls down. Wind's kind of taking it away from me. Got to fight the wind a little bit. But you got your side-to-side control, front and back. You can rotate it. Don't want to go too high. Don't know what the wind's like that high up above me. Pretty good flight time for 500 milliamp battery. Probably been going for about 5 minutes now. Sounds of the rotor is really cool. Different inputs make different sounds. Really ripping up the air. Slow pass. I noticed the battery getting a little weaker now. Got to have a little more throttle input to keep it in the air. Not a bad flight time for a 500 milliamp battery. My original one came with 3 batteries, and then the bind and fly I got to replace my damaged one had an additional battery, so I got 4 batteries for this, so I can really fly it for a while if I wanted to. I got my spare helicopter for any parts I break, as long as it's not that tail servo. Or that rear servo on the main rotor is what I mean. Not exactly sure what it'll do if there's a low voltage on this. I'm sure it has some sort of cutout. Not sure if there's any telemetry, if it'll beep, but I'm gonna find out in a short time here. Maybe it'll just lose power to fly. This thing's a lot of fun. A lot better outside than any other RC helicopter I've had. The little Simas would blow away in just a mile-an-hour wind. Actually drive this around with 5 mile an hour snow, 5 mile an hour wind, not 5 mile an hour snow. Every now and then you get a little gust, have to give a little more input, but it doesn't take off on you and fly away. All right, let's bring it in for a nice landing. Drifting backwards. All right, not a bad flight. Got a lot of time out of it. It was really impressive, very controllable. Not too bad for a beginner. Can't wait to get this out some more, get a lot more experience. I'm sure it's going to be a while before I'm going to be flying this in 3G mode and upside down and doing flips, but really fun and a lot of fun outside, better than any other little RC helicopter I've flown outside. All right, thanks for watching.